click on Exemptions and Senior Freeze Exemption. And click on the Renew Your Application tab. This is the instructions for those that are able to file via the renewal route, and click on the blue box that says Begin Filing. If there isn't an account created, then they would need to click New User, Create an Account. For this purposes, I will use my email address, and then I will click on the blue box that says Begin Filing. On this page, it states, please only use one of the two search options below. And on the top of the application is the PIN number. I don't need to put any hyphens or spaces in because that's been provided for me. It's going to mess up the system. I don't need to fill in an owner name. I don't need to fill anything else out. I just need the parcel, which is on the top of the application. I hit search, and down below is the option to start filing. It has the PIN number, the owner name, and the property address. If the owner name is incorrect, that's not a problem. You would continue the filing and be able to adjust that within the filing. I click Start Filing, and this property only has one PIN number. I was only mailed one application, so I would click No, doesn't have more than one PIN number. It has the location of the property and the PIN number as well, and I would click the blue box that says Next. There are no additional PINs, so I would just click Next down at the bottom. And it's the filer type. You'll see the PIN number at the top and the class of the property. But I would select from the drop-down, I am the taxpayer. And from this drop-down, I have to click who I am. So there's many options here. This instance, it's the taxpayer owner. And the name of the application is Alberto Pozo. We have this information already in our system. If this information needed to be corrected, I can simply click this box and I can update the name of the applicant if I needed to. But in this instance, the taxpayer's information already came in pre-populated for me. Again, if this needs to be changed in any instance, I could click this box and I can type in the name that it should be, maybe correct name or correct birth date. But in this instance, everything is correct. Type in a phone number. One was not provided for me, so I'm just going to use my office phone number. And I was not provided with an email address either, so I will use my email address. I want to receive important information from the assessor's office. That way I can do this electronically next year as well, or any other information. And once I finish that, I will click Next. And this is information regarding the property. This particular property is not owned in a trust, so I would simply click No. If the property was owned in a trust, you could click Yes, but we might need a copy of that trust document, and that would be in the next tab. But for this purpose, this property is not owned in a trust. The property location here is pre-populated. This person didn't indicate that they were married, so I'm going to click No. This property is a single family home, so I'm going to click No. And it's a single family home and nothing was used for commercial purposes. Here, if there's anybody else that was living with me in the property, I would simply type this other person's, anybody's name, for instance, maybe a spouse or any of my children or anybody else that's living in the property. And in the instructions, we do have to include everybody that lives in the household, their income. So you want to make sure that anybody that you list, you have their income for this purpose. In the middle of the screen is the income verification. So we do need income for tax year for 2023. If I have any questions on how to fill out any sort of income, or I have some questions with some tax information, I can click on this link, and it's actually going to give me step-by-step instructions on how to fill out that form. This is included in the application that was mailed, but this is just a guideline if you're not quite sure what type of income is needed to be reported. This particular application only has Social Security benefits. So I only need to fill out the top line for Social Security benefits. That's the total amount for the year. If there was any other income I needed to put in as well, I could put that in either of these lines. This is the only income for this applicant. So I would click calculate, and at the bottom, the total income would populate here. Another option that we have is the benefit programs. If I do indicate that I am enrolled in any of these programs for 2023, I am going to need to provide proof of these programs in the attachments tab. But for this instance, I've provided my income. I can quickly say no for everything. I provide my income, and that's all that's required. This is an affidavit basically stating that I was the owner for January 1, 2023 and 2024. I only need to mark one statement for each of these questions. And this applicant has owned this property for a number of years. So the answer to this would be 2A. This taxpayer has owned the property and pays the taxes. So that question would be a yes. This is the only property claiming the Senior Freeze Exemption, and the total amount that's reported was listed above. So that is a yes. And this individual is single. I would click next, and this is the attachment tab. Anywhere where there's an asterisk is where I would need to upload any sort of documentation based on the questions that I answered in the previous tabs. The only thing that I need to upload with this application would be an ID. So that would be a file that I can find and upload into the document as an ID. There are no other asterisks that I need to upload anything else in. So I would click next and then type the name. And a phone number. And then I would hit submit. Yes, I want to submit the filing. And I reach my confirmation page. This is my filing ID number, which is a good reference for you, as well as your PIN number. And after I submit this filing, I automatically will get an email that's sent to me stating that this is my filing ID and your low income senior freeze renewal application has been received and published to the following status. It is an A. The application has been approved. If the application was pending, there's more information here that would state why the application is pending and we still need to further review.